Lionel Messi is quite good at football. I know, that is why you come to HITC Sevens for those kinds of hot takes. But, however controversial, the fact that Lionel Messi is really good at football is a hill that I'm perfectly willing to die on. The fact that Messi is quite good at football has been immediately apparent to almost anyone who has ever watched him play, and that includes those who watched him before he had even registered his first team debut. There are clips of Messi at about 6 years old dribbling past people twice his size as though he were born with a ball at his feet, and it's easy to see why Barcelona were willing to take a flyer on footing his medical bills in the hope that he could become a rare talent. I think we can safely say that their gamble has paid off at this stage. Messi joined the La Masia youth ranks as a 13-year-old, but he played just 2 games for Barcelona's under-14 B team before being promoted straight into the team's under-16 side, though he would continue to turn out for the under-14s in 2002. Coaches have often recalled that when Messi was playing for Barca's under-19s, he would go and watch the B team, and when he was playing for the B team, he would go and watch the under-19s. In total, Messi scored 89 goals in 97 games for Barcelona's youth and B teams, from the age of 13 through to 17, and it is the end of his time in the Barcelona B team that we're interested in today. On my recent video taking an in-depth look at Barcelona's financial plight, The Only Joe left a popular suggestion requesting that I take a look at Messi's last Barca B XI and where those players are now. Whilst it was easy enough to find Messi's last game for Barca B, the goal scorers, and even who was shown yellow cards, finding the actual 11 proved to be quite a tricky task. I think I managed to find a fairly reputable source in the end, but I will cover some of the other squad members at the end, just in case. Just before I start, it's worth noting that Messi was the youngest member of his last Barca B XI, and as such, 4 of the starting 11 have already retired, and all are in the latter stages of their careers. Normally I wouldn't make a Where Are They Now video in those circumstances, but for this one, I think it's almost more interesting that way, since we can basically look back on their careers in their entirety rather than just getting a little snapshot midway through. There may also be a lack of images of some of them, I'm not sure yet, but we'll make do with what we've got. Without further ado then, here is the last Barcelona B starting 11 to feature Lionel Messi. Where are they now? Ruben Martinez, Osasuna. Messi's final Barca B game, which came in May 2005, was actually against Osasuna B, so there is a nice holistic quality to the first member of this 11, Barca B's goalkeeper, now playing for Osasuna. Ruben Martinez joined Barcelona at the age of 13, much like Messi, and he spent 11 years at the club. The 2004-05 season, which is the subject of this video, was the apex of Ruben's career in some respects. He was a Spanish under-23 and under-21 international, he was installed as Barca's third-choice goalkeeper, and he registered his only 2 La Liga appearances for the club. Ruben left Barcelona in 2008 to join Malaga, and he has since had stints with Rayo Vallecano, Almeria, Levante, Deportivo La Coruña, and Anderlecht. Aged 36, Ruben joined Osasuna in 2018, where he has since been rotated with Sergio Herrera as the La Liga side's number 1. Until seemingly losing his place permanently this season. Dani Fernandez, L'Hospitalet. Starting at right back in Lionel Messi's final game for Barca B was Dani Fernandez, already a veteran of the Barcelona B team by that stage. Born and raised in Barcelona, Fernandez joined La Masia at the age of 9, and in the 2004-05 season's pre-season training, Frank Rijkaard invited him to join him with the first team. Fernandez never realised his dream of playing for his boyhood club's senior team in a competitive game though, departing in 2006 for Metalurg Donetsk in Ukraine, who no longer exist, followed by Arsenal Kiev. He has since enjoyed spells in the Netherlands, Belgium and in Greece before returning to Catalonia in 2015 to join 5th tier Hospitalet, where the 36-year-old is now in his 6th season. Pepe Mora, CF Borriol. Certainly among the lesser-known members of Lionel Messi's final Barca B XI, centre-back Pepe Mora only spent a single season in Barcelona's reserve team, and he was the oldest starter in Messi's final appearance. You might think that he'd have retired by now then, but no, the 39-year-old is still going boldly on, having been with 5th tier CF Borriol since 2015. Prior to that, the former Castillon star turned out for the likes of Recreativo, Hercules and Alaves. Dani Fragoso, retired. A versatile footballer who could play in defensive midfield or at centre-back, Dani Fragoso also didn't spend much time at Barcelona. Though he was born in Catalonia, Fragoso actually played youth team football for Real Madrid, and he only joined Barcelona from Extremadura as a 22-year-old. Following 2 seasons of regular game time for Barca B, he played the second most minutes of anyone in that 2004-05 campaign, Fragoso departed for Ciudad Murcia in 2006, another club that no longer exists. He eventually became something of a journeyman, turning out for 17 teams in total before retiring in 2019. They included the likes of Cadiz, Albacete, and very briefly, Chivas USA in the MLS. That's right, another team that no longer exists. I'm starting to think Fragoso might have been a bit of a kiss of death for a club. Carlos Pena, retired. A long-term servant to Barcelona's second and third teams, Carlos Pena spent 5 years starring for Barca B and Barca C as a left-back. He racked up more than 100 league appearances for Barca B, and he played more minutes than anyone else in Messi's final season in the team. Pena joined Albacete in 2006, where he spent 6 successive seasons before moves to Recreativo, Valladolid, Oviedo, and Getafe. He retired in 2020 following 2 seasons in India with Indian Super League side Goa. Rodri, unattached. Not the Rodri that plays in holding midfield for Manchester City, and not the Rodri who plays up front for Oviedo and used to play for Bristol City, and not even the Rodri that plays as a number 10 for Real Betis, the point being there are a lot of Spanish footballers called Rodri, and this one is among the lesser known division of that cohort. A centre-back by trade, though he could be deputised in midfield, Rodri is a native Catalan, who joined La Masia as a child and left Barcelona shortly before he turned 22. One of few players in this 11 to have ever appeared alongside Messi for Barca's first team, Rodri made 5 La Liga appearances for his boyhood club before joining Deportivo La Coruña. He has since played in Russia and in Belgium, but the 36-year-old has been without a club since leaving Hospitalet in 2019. Joan Verdu, CF Montañesa. Another man who has returned to Catalonia with a lower league team in the autumn of his career, Joan Verdu joined 4th tier CF Montañesa in 2020, fresh off the back of 2.5 seasons in the second tier of Chinese football. One of the most accomplished players in this 11, Verdu has spent the bulk of his career playing top-flight football, primarily in La Liga. Born in Barcelona, he joined La Masia as a 10-year-old, but his only 2 appearances for the senior team both came in embarrassing cup defeats. Verdu went on to turn out for the likes of Deportivo La Coruña, Espanyol, Real Betis, Fiorentina, Levante, and Arabian Gulf League side Benias. Havito, retired. Whilst Lionel Messi's farewell game for Barca B was all about the brilliant little 17-year-old, who by that stage everyone at the club knew was destined for stardom, wide man Havito very nearly stole the show. He scored a 45-minute hat-trick as Osasuna B were put to the sword, which took him to double figures for the season. He also made 1 first-team appearance for Barcelona that season against Shakhtar Donetsk in the Champions League, though Barca lost 2-0. Havito was highly regarded at La Masia, but a lengthy spell on the sidelines after he was diagnosed with a blood clot prevented him from gathering any momentum. The 37-year-old went on to play in Turkey and Greece, most notably with Aris, where he spent his best years, and he hung up his boots in 2020 following 3 seasons with 4th-tier side Korea. Arnau Riera, Hotelier. A senior member of Barca B's 2004-05 squad, aged 23, Arnau Riera spent 2 seasons as the team's captain. He also had the shortest and least successful career outside of Barca B of anyone in this 11, but at least he'll always be able to tell his grandkids that he used to be Lionel Messi's captain. Riera spent 5 years with Barca B, registering almost 150 league appearances before signing for Sunderland in 2006. He only ever made 1 appearance for the Black Cats, spending time on loan with Southend United and Falkirk. Riera retired in 2012, aged only 31, and he now runs a hotel back in his hometown on the island of Mallorca, just in case some of you might have thought that he played for a club called Hotelier. Christian Hidalgo, FC Ordino. The only other goal scorer for Barca B against Osasuna B in Lionel Messi's final game for the team, aiding Havito's hat-trick to give the club from Catalonia a 4-0 win, Hidalgo is also a wide man. Like most players in this 11, Hidalgo was born in Barcelona, and he joined La Masia as a child. Previously a regular for Barca C, Hidalgo spent 3 years as a starman for Barca B, racking up close to 100 league appearances before being called up to the first team. His only first team appearance came in a Copa del Rey tie against Zamora, which Barcelona won 9-1 on aggregate. Hidalgo went on to play for a string of Spanish clubs before taking more of a nomadic turn, enjoying stints in Cyprus, Bulgaria, Israel, India, Morocco and Romania. He's now playing his club football in his 8th different nation, though one that is a little closer to home, having been with top-flight Andorran outfit FC Ordino since 2018. Lionel Messi, FC Barcelona. It's a tight call, but on the balance of things, you'd have to say Lionel Messi was probably the most talented member of Barcelona B's 2004-05 squad. He has also enjoyed the most successful career, following up his 89 goals in 97 games for Barca's youth teams, with 659 goals in 766 games for Barca's first team, becoming the club's all-time record goalscorer, in addition to topping the La Liga assist charts virtually every season for the best part of a decade. By the time Messi played his last game for Barca B, his trajectory, at least to becoming a top player for Barcelona, if not one of the greatest of all time, was already well in motion. The little Argentine had already scored his first goal for Barcelona, a deft chip over the goalkeeper's head against Albacete in the final game of Barca's La Liga campaign, and the fact that he would play a big part in the first team the following year was already well established. His appearance against Osasuna B was like Messi's first testimonial then, aged only 17, and a chance for him to bid farewell to his former teammates and to the mini Estadi. He did so in style, putting on a display fit for an exhibition game before being withdrawn in the 87th minute to a standing ovation. That is, or was, the Barcelona B 11 that started against Osasuna B in Lionel Messi's final Barca B game, as far as I can tell. But just in case, I'll take a quick look at some of the other members of that squad. Goalkeeper Erka Pardo now plays for Olympiakos Lympion in Cyprus. Right back Darmia is now retired, having ended his career at Middlesbrough. Striker Oriol Riera is also retired and has spent time in England, though he's best known for scoring prolifically for Western Sydney Warriors. Ludovic Silvestre, who you may recall from his time at Blackpool, is now a sporting director at Parisian outfit Red Star. Jordi Gomez is another familiar face to English football fans, and he now plays in Cyprus for Ammonia. And finally, Ramon Masso, who was the only other 17-year-old alongside Messi in that Barca B squad, now plays for Unió Esportiva Tona, a team who I believe play regional or district level football in Catalonia. Messi's old Barcelona B team manager, Pere Graticos, also took charge of his final Barca B game in this match, with his only post-Barca B managerial work coming with the unofficial Catalonia national team. He returned to La Masia in 2010 as a director of the club's training ground and academy, but he was sacked in 2017 after he said of Messi, "He's the best, this is true," before caveating the statement by adding that he would not be as good without Iniesta, Neymar and co. The sacking may have seemed a bit harsh, but Barca were trying to get Messi to agree a new deal at the time, and they released a statement declaring that Graticos' views were not the views of the club. So that is it for today's video, but thank you all as ever for watching. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and make sure that you're subscribed and have notifications turned on for HITC Sevens. You can also find me on Twitter or Instagram by the username at HITC Sevens on both, should you feel so inclined.